With July coming to a close and about every question imaginable being tossed over to Mark Dara and the BioWare devs, the news just keeps popping in. Now, there isn't a whole lot of big topics to go over right now, and we're kind of right now in the middle of a waiting game concerning the next big news drop. But for right now, let's go ahead and recap the last few weeks of Anthem news. Freelancers, what is going on, guys? Sly here, back at it with another Anthem news update video for you all. And as we creep ever closer to the end of summer, we're still waiting on BioWare's summer info drop, which I'm sure will contain alpha or beta dates. But in this video, and for the meantime, let's go over all the small tidbits that have been popping up over the past few weeks and see if we can't learn a couple of new things about Anthem. So first things first, if you want to catch up on a ton of topics, check out the Ask Me Anything About Anthem live stream. With so many questions, Mark Dara and the devs at BioWare decided to have a live stream where they could answer the most frequently asked questions about the game. Now, I covered just about all of those topics and more in my previous news update videos, but if you haven't seen any of those, then that is a great place to catch up. The link will be down below in the description box if you wish to check it out. So next up, let's go ahead and get to some questions from the last few weeks. Starting with something that needs to be addressed and straightened out, rumors put to bed, first, Javelins and skill trees. In a couple of recent articles, it was stated that Javelins would have skill trees of their own. Well, this is wrong, my friends. Javelins are gear-based, and how you wish to change them depends on the gear and the mods you put into it. That will change the Javelin itself. Now, the freelancer or the player will have something like a skill tree, and that will of course go with you wherever you plan on going or whatever Javelin you wish to use. We still really do not know how mods will work within Anthem. They could add extra armor, extra mobility, increased threat, healing when hitting critical weak spots. I mean, we have no idea. And if they do, then that will drastically change how your Javelin behaves. And of course, the more spots to mod, the more it'll change. For instance, in a recent article, Michael Gamble talked about how you could use your Colossus to go for nothing but extreme tankiness, or you could change up the armor and mods to make it more like a support character with way less armor and faster movement. If for some reason the skills you picked on your freelancer while leveling up don't really fit with your current Javelin setup, then you can actually go in and respec your character. However, that will cost you. And while we're on Javelins, a couple of cool details have emerged about the Colossus. One Twitter user asked if shields were only there for defensive purposes or if they could be used in an offensive manner, and apparently it can. So the shield can be used as sort of a melee weapon and not just for tanking or self-protection. Next up, bonuses. Now, there are quite a few levels of loot rarity. We talked about this in one of my other videos, and I listed them all, and one rarity was called Ancient. I went out on a limb there and said it could be possible that ancient gear could be similar to like gear sets from the Division, and perhaps they come with set bonuses. Well, we don't know if that's the case for ancient gear, but set bonuses are indeed within the game. As you see here, it is confirmed. So on top of mods, it's another way to customize your Javelin to play in your particular style. Moving on to weapons for a second, first up, friendly fire. Now, no looter shooter that I'm aware of has friendly fire or enabled or even set up as an option, but it's been asked a lot, and friendly fire will not be a thing within Anthem. Also, trading. There will be no trading, and from the looks of it, it doesn't even seem like it's going to be an option open for consideration. If it does end up showing up, however, again, hopefully it'll be similar to the Division, because the Division handled trading extremely well. I'm not a big fan on no limits trading. It enables a-holes to sell in-game items for real money, and that's just not something I want to see happening within the community. If it is really that big of a deal, then just hit me up and I'll help you get the weapon at some point. Alright guys, next up, do you remember the Volt Rifle from last year's E3? Well, according to Mark Dara on Twitter, it's a beam weapon. I'm assuming it'll be similar to Cold Heart within Destiny. So that means Anthem isn't sticking with only traditional projectile-based weapons for the whole game. While it's great beam weapons are in the game, I'm hoping for a few more sci-fi type of weapons to appear rather than straight projectiles. Also, speaking of weapons, I feel it needs to be said one more time, yes, you will be able to turn off damage numbers in the game. Now, this was confirmed a while ago, but if you're new to the Anthem community and you're a little behind, first off, welcome, and yes, you can get rid of them. I was hoping to see kind of a slide scale rather than a simple on-off mechanic. I don't mind damage numbers, just not the huge ones they had. But it is what it is. I bet they have more important things to do rather than just tweak damage numbers all day. Anyways, guys, we're going to talk about free roam next. So this also has been a kind of a point of contention. First off, yes, you can go into the wild and see randos flying about looking for stuff. However, it does seem that everything is going to be limited to 4 players, including free roam. In free roam, there will only be yourself and 3 others in each area. Just as teams are limited to 4 players, free roam is as well. Now, I'm assuming that the sheer size and detail of the game spaces are the limiting factors of having more players in each area, but I really can't say that for sure. Trying to balance a shared open world game is hard enough, let alone making it work for thousands of different PC combinations and 4 different console systems. I bet it's something of like nightmares. Anyway, so don't expect packed spaces, guys. It's just going to be you and 3 others no matter where you go. Except, of course, the Strider and Fort Tarsus, which is going to be your own private space. And while we're talking about PC specs are still being set in stone. So as of right now, guys, the end of July, there is no recommended or minimum specs available. However, I do think that we'll see PC specs within the next few weeks. Alright, so one last thing about the open world before we get into stuff that doesn't really fit in anywhere else: exploration. First, the map we've seen during the EA demo is not the entire thing. There is much more to it, as you can see here. Second, if you love exploring, there will be more than just those Arcanist resonance glyphs for you to interact with. According to Jonathan Warner, Anthem is made for exploring, and the more you explore, the more you will learn about Anthem itself. And finally, as you see here, hidden areas. Anthem will feature hidden or secret areas that are hard to get to and require smart flying or jumping to find. On top of that, we already know there will be hidden activities out there. So when you combine the two and add verticality, I cannot wait to see where that's going to take us, guys. Raids, secrets, hidden objectives, and atmospheric settings are the things I absolutely love in looter shooters. It's why I still play Destiny today, even with all of its flaws. And I think Anthem will have things just like it and even better. In order to solve some of these secrets, they can bring entire communities together, so hopefully there'll be plenty to solve and lots of them. Okay, ladies and gents, last but not least, let's get to the leftovers, topics that don't really fit in anywhere else. First up, Dark Horse Comics will have an Anthem comic book series that furthers the lore and stories within Anthem. So for the lore lovers out there, this is music to our ears. Also, BioWare looks like they will be present at PAX West this year. Mark Dara is going, however, we are still waiting to see if it will be a huge official setup or just a small-time booth for signatures. Keep those eyes open on Twitter for announcements. It could be that PAX West is when we will get our next big info dump, so make sure you keep eyes and ears open. Moving on here, let's talk about a couple of settings. First up, Anthem will be supporting all of the latest surround sound drivers as well as Dolby Atmos for the Xbox One X. For those who haven't tried Dolby Atmos, it is quite fantastical awesome sauce. As detailed as Anthem is, I bet it will be amazing. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. Throw in a compatible war game and give it a try. You will not be let down. Like I said, just make sure everything you have is compatible, including your headphones, and you have a game that supports it. Moving on here, we talked about romances, or the lack thereof, in my last video, but do not freak out. There will still be deep conversations and friendships with our NPCs, even flirtatious friendships. However, there will not be a dialogue wheel this time around. According to the devs, there will be dialogue choices, but it's not clear how we get to choose them. So that's also another break from BioWare tradition. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with that. And finally, moving on to the last couple bits of news. First, photo mode is not currently implemented within Anthem. However, it does seem to be on the drawing board, so I would expect it to be added after launch. And the last thing we have here, another voice actor has been named. Halleck is played by Nick Taraby, so if you wish to check him out, drop a like on his Twitter account. But that is about it, freelancers. Here is the list of all the current supported languages for Anthem. If you have a friend who is curious, point them to this video, or simply take a snapshot and then send it their way. There are quite a few voiceovers and a lot of subtitles for different countries out there. Once again, it's great to see they're trying to be as inclusive as possible. But that is it, y'all. As soon as more news heads this way, you can be sure that I got your back in another update video or a breakdown if it's going to be something like a trailer. I am really looking forward to the next big news update where my freelancer Spidey Javelin Tarsus Arcanist senses tell me that it will contain, at the very least, a soft date for the first beta or demo. If nothing else, I think we'll start to hear more about mods, skills, weapons, etc. And hopefully a little more about the Elder game. But once again, time will tell. Anyways, I am out, y'all. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting Sly Nation. Subscribe for lots more Anthem and Destiny 2 Forsaken videos. Spank the thumbs up only if you enjoyed yourself, and comment down below if you have any questions, anything to add, or if you just want to say what's up. We have the making of an awesome growing community here, so thank you guys for staying positive, keeping things upbeat, and watching the videos. It means a lot to me. Feel free to check me out on Twitter or Facebook at Sly Nation or Sly Nation Gaming on the FB. Later, y'all, and keep those eyes open for more vids coming out here soon, but until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.